spreading. It's a pandemic. It's affecting millions of people around the world, but it's only killed about 2,500 in the world. It's a mild virus still. So the idea there that we're going to forcibly quarantine people is absolutely absurd. First of all, it will spread fear. Fear spreads virus. People are going to try to escape. This is not the bubonic plague. There's no role for government here.
Okay, so in terms of your level of apprehension, fear, concern about it, where are you on this one?
I'm cautious. I mean, the thing could get worse. It could change. Here's what I'm most cautious about. Kids with asthma, kids with chronic conditions. This pandemic is affecting younger people especially. They're having the more severe problems, pregnant women. I want to protect them. So as soon as the vaccine comes out, I want school children to get it, and I want people around school children to get it, especially if you have a kid in the family with asthma or a chronic condition.
Some kind of chronic medical condition that could make them more susceptible, vulnerable to, I guess, having fatal consequences.
Exactly. We're seeing some of that, but it's still fairly rare. And if we have panic against this, that's what's going to flood the hospitals. I'm concerned about the hospitals, Kimberly, being flooded with people that are worried and getting in the way of people that have broken bones or people that need operations.
I agree.
We've got to control the response.
So, because you don't want to be on the wrong side of this and not have gone to the doctor, and God forbid it's too late, and you made a gross calculation and judgment.
That's a great point, and so you have to be in touch with your doctor, because you know what? The other thing that's going wrong here, to flip this on the other side, in Maine over the summer, we were seeing parents deliberately sending kids to camp that had symptoms of swine flu. If your kid is sick, if your kid has a fever, if your kid is fatigued, sore throat, headache, keep them home. Don't subject other kids to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to talk about Massachusetts, because that's kind of scary. I mean, it really is straight out of a movie outbreak. They're going to quarantine you, they're going to break down the door, and they're going to come in, you're on the couch, you're trying to watch Oprah. What's going on?
Well,
this is crazy.
Forcible vaccination. I mean, you're right. It's sort of Brave New World kind of stuff. The political implications are what are really troubling. The CDC has sort of ratcheted down the numbers from what the Obama administration has put out. I don't know who they're listening to over in the White House, but it seems to be a little bit of fear-mongering. And I don't know if that's because they sort of want to imply that government-run healthcare is really what we need right now. Or if it's just another way of sort of creeping back into our private lives. I don't know, but I think people are right to be disturbed about that.
Kirsten?
I don't think it's fear-mongering. I think it's actually, from my understanding of it from a medical standpoint, a pretty serious concern, and it's better to be overly cautious than underly cautious, in terms of what the Obama administration is doing. In terms of, going into people's houses and forcibly vaccinating them, that's another story. I mean, I would have a problem with that, but I do think the government should take this seriously.
I'm agreeing that they should take it seriously, and I think when we have a swine flu vaccine, we're going to have to get people that are at risk to get it.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you something. There's a discrepancy here, because the advisory panel that's advising the president, Science and Technology panel, is coming out and saying 1.8 million people may end up hospitalized here. The Center for Disease Control does not agree with that. I don't agree with that. Many experts don't agree with that. Now, anything can happen. This thing can get a lot worse. But
You're saying those numbers are inflated.
Those numbers are
inflated.
inflated.
It's irresponsible.
Well, and I also don't think those advisors have a background in flu. They're not real flu experts. So where are they coming up with numbers like that? I mean, that's really outrageous. The past pandemics haven't even been that bad, and this is a milder virus structurally. It doesn't look as bad.
Right.
So those numbers are not so bad. So we can't, this isn't bubonic plague, so we don't need people quarantined forcibly by the government.
All right, well, what do we need to do? And I think you have a demonstration for us.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing we need to do, again, we need to wash our hands or use Purell. There's something called a Dracula cough, by the way. You're supposed to cough if you leave
like
that.
this?
That's right.
I thought that was kind of bad manners. Apparently it's a good idea.
This is good.
When I saw people do it, and they would sneeze into their clothes, and they'd gross.
And it's really good for this. But the thing is, in schools, though, kids don't wash their hands, and you have to wash your hands for like 30 seconds for it to really be effective, and they don't use Purell. We got to push that. But in schools, we're going to have to also use Lysol and other disinfectants on surfaces. And again, if a kid is sick, they have to stay home. And they have to stay home for at least 2 or 3 days after they're feeling better. If you try to get them right back to school, they're going to spread flu there.
Okay, so that's the period of a contagion where you could actually pass this on to someone else. You're saying even after you're feeling better, you should stay?
When you're feeling totally better, you should stay home for another 2 days.
Wow.
And then you can go back to school. Now, when we have the vaccine out, which is going to be the end of October, middle of November, school kids should get that. They should get, everyone in the country should get a regular flu vaccine right now. The swine flu vaccine...
That's the seasonal flu?
That's the seasonal flu. Everyone should get that. That's already becoming available now.
Yes. They're giving it early.
They're giving it early, which is wise. The swine flu vaccine is going to become available end of October, November. Then we want to see kids get that, pregnant women get that, healthcare workers get that, then young adults get it, and especially people with chronic conditions get that. Kids may actually need 3 to 4 shots this year because of the fact that they've never seen a flu shot before. But let's at least get them the first shot. Get them the regular flu and get them the first swine flu shot, and then we can start to try to advise them to get a second.
They're trying to rush this through, though. Should people be concerned because there are enough safety checks and tests to be done that this will be safe for people to
Kimberly, that is a great question, but the answer is that there's 24 clinical trials going on right now, that so far it looks very safe. And I want people out there to know they're using an ancient technology from the 1950s, which I'm not thrilled with, but then again, it's been used since the 1950s safely. So the chances are very high that we're dealing with a safe vaccine.
All right, well, that sounds good to me. You heard from the good doctor. There you go. Follow his good advice, and 30 seconds, warm water, and lots of Purell, right?
Right.
Okay, ladies, you got that?
I got it.
Okay, excellent.
On board.
So coming up, the latest on a